Hello, everybody! Welcome back to the Carpathian countryside. Donald and I are going to be Tater partners. He's still doing the massive potato harvest, and here we are doing our own little small-scale tater harvest. Doing our best. Trying to get the best yield we can. I've established this this harvester does not like slopes at all. It seems to work best on flat land. And it also seems to take a lot more horsepower than it's listed for, because I can go up the hill at like 3 miles an hour and I can go down the hill at like 9. So it's far faster to harvest in one direction. Schultz, what is up? What is up? Surprise map video. If you haven't seen it, don't go watch it now. Go check it out after the live stream. It is a sleeper map if I have ever seen one. That map is a beauty. It's French, but it's a lot better than French bread. It's not all hard and crusty. Halfway through. What'd you think so far then? I regret not being able to show off the winery. I forgot about the winery, and then toward the end I remember the winery, but the video's already so long. The winery is cool because you can go inside. Oh, Tim, my day was a little busy. A little busy and a little frustrating too. I'll tell you about it when we get done the pre-show, but basically I tried to fix something at the house and I should have been able to fix it, but fixing it broke it worse, so I broke it back to how it was before. Got the lawn mowed today. Got some other things done today. Victor, good evening. Oh, indeed, right? Indeed. We also have our sorghum ready to harvest tonight, so we should be in a position to get our pigs tonight too. Because all we need to start making pig food is potatoes and sorghum. Oh, you know what? Let's go spend a fortune on maintaining our tractor. Maybe we'll be able to drive up the hill if we do that. because our big tractor doesn't have narrows. This is our biggest horsepower tractor with narrows. Riley, welcome. I do have a real tractor. It's right here. It's just, I can't put narrows on it. Oh, Richard, I am running Windows 10 on this one. On my laptop, I'm running Windows 11. Jeez, wheeze, Luis. $11K in repairs. Now, I mean, as far as Farm Sim, yeah, it runs fine on 11. There was a statement to that effect, yes, Grenade Racer, that ridging would give you a bonus, a yield bonus for the new crops. Then they've also come back and stated that ridging is not needed for potatoes. That potatoes are going to remain unchanged. Alright, let's see. Can we go up the hill any faster? No. Yeah, see. This is why we go one direction. The one direction. That tractor is not too small, according to the store. According to the shop, this thing requires 150 HPs. And this tractor is 212. So it has 62 HPs more than it needs. So it's either this tractor's not putting out its stated horsepower, or this harvester requires more than it is listed as needing. But it's all good. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. We're potato harvesting here on the Carpathian countryside. We are making do with what we have available. We 100% cannot afford the giant harvester. And I went and decided I wasn't going to get the topper and use the other trailed harvesters. So we're using this one because this one tops and digs them up at the same time. But it does not seem to like the hill. So it will start to slide downhill and destroy crop. Not the greatest. And I'm thinking that it needs more horsepower than what is listed because it doesn't like going up the hill. So we're having fun. We're basically harvesting one direction because it's faster than harvesting in two directions. This mod, the map is free. Everything I play with is free other than the DLCs because it is against Giant's terms of service to sell farm sim mods. So if you find anyone putting a mod behind a paywall, report it to Giants because that is against the terms of service with the Giants editor. So we are using the Grammy pack for our harvesting. I mean, you're talking about the WR200. The harvester here is part of the Grimmy pack available with the Giants Mod Hub. So yeah, it's free. This thing works a lot better on flat ground. As you can see, the ground's kind of tailing away downhill. That's okay. We'll still have plenty of potatoes. I'm doing pretty good. Thanks, John Deere. I was a little busy earlier today. Which reminds me to tell you a little story. A little story about Jack and Diane. No. Not about Jack and Diane. So, last couple of days, the toilet in the house here has been squealing. It's a high-pitched squeal to it. After flushing, and if I go in and toy with the whole fill plunger thing, right, I can get to stop until someone needs to use the bathroom and then it squeals again. So I took a look at a video online, toilet squealing, and there's this little rubber washer that you can replace in the filler spout thing. And that's supposed to stop it. It's supposed to stop it from squealing. Like that somehow gets messed up. So went to Lowe's, picked up the appropriate rubber stopper thing, rubber washer, for the make and model of the fill tube I have, and replaced it as the video showed. And you know what? You know what happened? It didn't fix it. It broke it more. The filler wouldn't stop filling. It like got to the top and just kept on letting water in. So I switched it back to the old one. The old one works, except it squeals. I put the new one back in, doesn't stop filling. Switched it back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. I don't know. I verified it's for the right thing. It's the exact same looking thing. I might do a little insane in the membrane tomorrow and repeat this experiment and watch it do exactly the same thing again. I don't know. It's a $4 part. The stupid thing should just work. I've said it. It's set. It's not, I'm not replacing the whole floaty thing. I'm replacing just one little rubber washer gasket at the top. So that was some fun today. We also checked out a new map. Got that video published today. That map is super cool. It's got nuts, hazelnut, walnuts, chestnuts times 2. Yeah, Eddie. Yeah. That's the next go around. Well, that was I'm not sure who came by yesterday and basically asked about that map. I had not heard about it. They had sent me a message on Discord with the website. So I took a look at it this afternoon. And decided, yeah, it was definitely worth a video on. Custom productions, custom farm buildings, custom factory buildings. Really interesting road network. Modeled after what feels like an extremely hilly area of France. And while during the recording of the video I couldn't figure out how to drive the barge, the rentable barge, it seems like once you rent it you can tab into it. So that looks like that's the way to do it. I was half debating doing a live stream tonight on that. But then I thought, no, that would ultimately probably end up being just a one-off. So why do that? Alright, Farmer G, catch you later. Yeah, tomorrow we'll be doing our ATS Sunday night convoy night. And we'll also be doing our members only live stream for ACC tomorrow afternoon. Grenade Racer, I have no idea. I've owned the house since 2001, and it was here when I bought the house. It's had the filler tube thing replaced since then. But what make it is, I don't know. Just a few more passes, and then we'll have this thing done. And then we'll be ready to collect them. No, I didn't replace the filler valve thing. There's a like a filler washer gasket. It goes at the very top, and basically that's not forming a tight seal. And when it's closed, when it's no longer filling water, it's not forming a tight seal, and it's causing a, I guess the water's causing the washer to vibrate in such a way that it's causing a high-pitched squeal, so. Video I saw showed how you basically take the top off of the filler tube and you replace that gasket valve washer thing. It's a piece of rubber that's like the size of a nickel, maybe a little bit thicker than a nickel, and yeah, when I take the old one out, it's clean. It doesn't look worn, you know. It doesn't look it's not dirty. Like the one the guy on the video showed was really calcified up and was kind of really grimy looking. Mine looks just, you know, wet, right? Just normal. And if I put the replacement in for the supposed proper model, put it all back together, the filler tube never stops filling, even when the float's all the way to the top, right? You can manually lift it, manually close the arm, and it still fills. Take it apart, put the old one back in, blows it back up, it cuts off, but it whistles. Take it apart, put the new one back in, blows it back all up, it doesn't cut off. So it's not like it's not put together right, because I can put it together with the old one and it turns off, it just still whistles. So I'll mess with it tomorrow some. Farm Sim Canuck, good evening. Good evening. Before we get too far, this video is brought to you by Viking Hammer 73 and Dozer. Thank you for being farm barons. So I'm guessing 2 more passes, we'll be good to go. anyone coming in late, we're doing this downhill because apparently we don't have the oomph to harvest up the hill with any sort of a semblance of speed. So I can drive uphill, turn around and go down a pass far faster than I can harvest up a pass. And we're doing this legit, so I'm not going to sheet any money in. I'm not going to take out a loan just to get a different tractor so I can put narrows on it. So we do what every other farmer needs to do in real life. We just make do. Make do with the hand that's been given us. Taters make you rage, right? Taters make you rage. I do look forward to trying the root crops in a premium edition, premium expansion. When that comes out, I don't know how much I'll mess with them after couple weeks, but you know, they'll be available. Gregory, welcome. How are things going with you? There we go. Last one. And let's see here, the harvester. I had to lease the harvester. It only needs 90 HPs. So we'll be good with that. Well, I tell you what. This contract has me tempted. $30,000. It's not nearly as ginormous as Maverick's Tater contract. But it does have me tempted. Alright, I'm gonna leave this here. I am fed with city water fill. We get city water. John Deere Simulations, I'm not sure I understand the question, but it sounds like you're asking if you are able to stream gameplay in one of the Discord voice chats. And sure, if you want to. What type of gravy? I'm not a fan of sausage gravy. And I'm not a fan of sausages, period. But I would agree that biscuits and chipped beef and gravy are pretty good. Although I would rather have biscuits on the side and use toast with chipped beef and gravy. And then have the biscuits with some honey. pour some jelly. Nah, sausage gravy tears me up. It's also why I don't eat pizza. It tears me up. Phil, that is a very good observation. We do have pretty good water pressure. Try to turn around and get some of these that we missed. I might try turning the valve a little bit at the toilet, just a wee hair. Ah, glad you like that map. Yeah, it's really nice. I just like the visuals on that. Really good for kind of medium to small machines. Right? Not a lot of big fields. All the, tons of custom buildings. The roads are just insane. With some of the inclines, very narrow roads, very European. And the collectibles are really interesting because they are map segments, and I really don't know what happens when you collect them all, but I'm guessing a map appears somewhere on the map of probably itself. I'm hesitant to mess with the valve coming into the house because, let's just say the handle is not on the greatest, and I've been known to break things by applying what I feel is normal pressure. Been told many times I don't know my own strength. So, yeah. The last thing I want to do is bust that valve off. Emerald Coast is very excellent. There was a really cool comment made today by somebody. Will hopefully we'll be able to see it when he gets back from his Asian vacation. I think he's going to be going until the end of, maybe the middle of next month. All right, what we're going to do is we're going to get one trailer load full of potatoes. And then I'm going to get the other trailer load full of sorghum. Then we're going to go get our pig food started. And then we can be making pig food while we are still working on our harvest. And then we can maybe get pigs tonight too. Cool, Greg. Where are you going? Where are you planning on going to? Let's go get our sorghum running. Now, speaking of biscuits, my wife made a batch of biscuits earlier today. Oh, they look awesome. Can't wait to have one later. After the live stream, I like to put honey on it. The millennial farmer map. Well, let's hope it's better than it was before. Box. I'm not really sure I understand the question. How to install a harvester? I mean, you mean like a mod? I mean, the first thing you would do is you go to either your download what platform. I mean. For any platform, if you go to the download content menu, at the main menu, find the harvester you want, and then hit the appropriate install button. Then that's going to download and put the mod where it needs to be. Then just pull up your save game. There will be a screen that'll pop up called Mods and DLCs. You will select the harvester and activate it. by checking the box, and then, well, there you go. We'll start him off. If you're on PC, then if it is a harvester mod that is not on the Giants Mod Hub, then you'll have to download the mod on your PC and then move it into the mods folder that is under Documents, My Games, Farming Simulator 22 Mods. And then activating it in game, it's the same. It's all good. We're all new to the game at one point in time. Early comments on the map video I just put out says that they really appreciated having that little segment at the start on how to download the map from Share Mods. Sites like Share Mods can be a little scary if you're not super cautious with what's going on. Especially if you don't have ad blockers in place. They put all types of ads up, pop-ups, pop-unders. Try to get you to click on things that you shouldn't be clicking on. I will tell you that I kind of wished you could dump these in a silo. I wanted to put down the root crop storage building, but it's $100,000 and we don't have the money for that. Tuki, who's making you a baked potato? Everyone needs to practice good mod hygiene. Right? Oh. Well, I don't have a baked potato factory. Why don't you go to Wendy's? Wendy's bakes potatoes. I don't mind Wendy's chili. That's pretty good. you can put it under, there's a videos section. Okay, we'll get that going. We'll get this going. Your Wendy's is an ice cream shop. What? That's all it serves is ice cream? Oh, Chris, you got me beat. You got me beat. I've got 84 installed on this game save. But I would say the number of mods actually being used is probably less than 20. You don't make them what? I thought that's exactly why you made them. I thought that's 100% why you made the mod, so people could look at it, not use it, just look at it. Wait a minute, this, the SE8555 is from the Grimmy pack. The Grimmy pack, where is it at? Right here, the Grimmy pack. Has small scale potato planting, harvesting, sorting, and transporting equipment. So we used a Grimmy pack harvester to dig the potatoes up and put them on the ground. Then we're using this to collect them up off the ground. There's also a building that is available with the pack. It's a really cool building. It's got chutes, drying chutes that you can set up. And it's designed for you to heap your potatoes in it as a storage building. Hey, get out of my field! Why are you driving on my potatoes? Oh. I'm not harvesting any because I'm full. Pay attention. So, I mean, overall, it's pretty economical, right? So, you can plant potatoes, small scale planting of potatoes, fairly cheap, pretty cheap diggers. These will dig potatoes up and put them on the ground. And then we're using this to collect them. But, you know, compared to base game potato stuff, right? $200,000. I can harvest potatoes for less than 100 compared to 200,000. Sure, it takes a couple passes, but you know what? If you're looking to do small scale potato farming or potato farming on a budget, we would like to see both over time. Why limit ourselves to one or the other? I think it would be interesting to see alpacas and llamas brought into the game as an alternate source of wool and or basically fur for the production of fabric and cloth. Right? We can have goats brought in as an alternate production for milk. We can have additional crops brought in to represent various other areas of the globe, various other types of agriculture. I wonder if that's full. I've described it before as bog farming. You know, flooded fields. So crops like rice, cranberries. What other crops require flooded fields? The map video I just put out earlier today included 4 different types of tree nuts. Right, so moving in from vegetables, we get additional vegetables with premium. We've got orchards for olives and vines for grapes. It would be nice to see orchards for other things like apples, oranges, pears, plums, peaches, tree nuts, cashews, walnuts, pistachios. Actually, I don't even know. Do pistachios grow on trees? I don't know. Peanuts would be a nice crop to bring in. There we go. Chickpeas, yeah, you know. Various types of things. I'd like to see additional detail given with respect to grass crops, grass-like crops, various hays, alfalfa, timothy, various other forms of grass crops. mad with that. Oh, we should have everything to start pig food production. Potatoes, sunflowers, wheat, sorghum. There we have our excess sugar beets. Off we go. Whoa, 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 whoa. No, I want to go the other way. There we go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. That would be an interesting mechanic, Chris, for sure. Now, in Farm Sim 17, we used to have deals. Well, we have sales again, right? But we used to have deals that would come up where there would be so much off a given brand. So I remember almost like it was 5 years ago that when I was playing Farm Sim 17, I had just found all 100 nuggets on Goldcrest Valley. And in Farm Sim 17, when you found 100 collectibles, you got $1 million. So I had $1 million in the bank, baby. And within like 2 days of getting that much money, the game gave me a deal, discount, like 20% off everything New Holland. Anything New Holland was 20% off. I stocked up. So it'd be nice to have like brand deals, brand sales. Because we used to. Yeah, now we have sales back, but they are few and far between. And are only on select pieces of machinery. Yeah, what would be cool is if periodically you would be offered to demo something, right? To evaluate something. Like let's say the game, you know, is keeping track and it knows you do a lot of grass work, right? And maybe, let's say, you know, it knows you do a lot of grass work, and as far as your mowers go, right? Let's say you're doing something like this setup of mowers, right? And then maybe the game comes in and says, you know what? I could let you use these for a couple game days at no cost, and just, you know, see if you like those. Or maybe be like, you know, I could give you this big M for a week and let you try that out. See if maybe you'd like to trade in your old mowers on a new big M. Right? Like the sales guy, like does his sales thing. He tries to sell you stuff. That would be neat. We have a sign here at the house. It says something like, due to the cost of ammo, we will no longer be issuing warning shots. Reef, I think a lot of folks would love to see old equipment. It's a conflict with manufacturers. So manufacturers have a conflict. They want and see Farm Sim as a marketing tool for their brand, for their current product lineup. And no doubt it is. It is very much that. Right? They can get models of their current products or recent products, and people can play with them. People can see them functioning. People can, in theory, maybe learn a little bit how they're used and how to use them. And maybe that will translate to a sale in real life. I've seen at Farm Sim shows, we have seen images at Farm Sim shows, not Farm Sim shows, but farm machinery shows, where people will have Farm Sim up and they'll be showing off their brand. So companies want to show off their current products. Players, on the other hand, they want nostalgia. They want to play with stuff they grew up with 20, 30, 40 years ago. They want to play with stuff they see farmers using in their own areas. And contrary to what brands want, right? Not every farmer has the latest model stuff. So it's a balance, and I think Giants could do a better job with proposing that balance to manufacturers. And I mentioned before, it'd be neat. It'd be an interesting wheel and deal if you could go to your manufacturer, like I want my 2023 stuff. I mean, that's what the Horse Pack is, coming out July 25th. It's the latest and greatest from Horse. So we get 14 2023 models of stuff from Horse. What we should also be able to get is maybe 4 or 5 classic tools, classic implements from Horse. Maybe their best-selling seeder, their best-selling planter. Maybe a cultivator a cultivator that that revolutionized something. I mean, someone said the other day the horse was the first no-till manufacturer. Maybe the first no-till manufacturer in Europe, maybe in the world. I don't know, but maybe we get the brand newest no-till thing, no-till planter, and then maybe we get the no-till planter that started it all as a companion, right? That would be really cool, I think, and that would marriage the wants of both the brand and the player. Jonathan, it's just, I don't know. It's not licensed, I guess. I was speculating that Pack 3 would be a Dutes pack, and they would announce it at FarmCon, because FarmCon was at Dutes Far, but that didn't turn out to be. Maybe Pack 4 will be Dutes. Maybe we'll get some Dutes stuff in the premium edition. We don't know. But the reason we do or don't have something in-game is 100% licensing. If Giants does not hold the license to put something in the game, then they do not have the capability of doing that. How's our pig food coming? It's slow. We're going to make 20 pig foods per cycle, 3,000 cycles per month. So that's 20 times 3,000. That's I don't want to feel like doing math. It's 60,000 units per month of pig food. And since we have 2-day months, that's only going to be 30,000 liters of pig food per day. So we are going to get some pigs later. I've got a trailer to haul some. I mean, it can be that, yeah, it can be that John Deere, or not John Deere, that the Giants decided that from the larger harvester product range. Now we're looking at mods, but from the larger product range, we had Kloss, New Holland, Fendt, Massey First, and John Deere case, right? We have the smaller Dutes, and the Dutes is the starting harvester. So that's something. You know, the harvester that every player starts with at the start. Is pretty decent product placement. It also comes down to balancing the machinery that's available, right? We can't have every product from every manufacturer. So it's, you know, it's an attempt to balance things. But also, modders have not picked up that charge and provided that to us either. So those with the skills to produce something like that have not seen the need to produce something like that either. John Deere simulations for pumps and hoses. I think I like the DLC. I like it from the standpoint of the buildable BGA. In a multiplayer environment, the additional gameplay of transporting slurry to the field using a pump, using an injector, connecting them with hoses is an interesting gameplay dynamic that can be enjoyable from a logistics standpoint in multiplayer. It's not something that I'm going to make use of on a regular basis. But the buildable BGA is something that I enjoyed doing and using on a couple of different maps. It's not something I'm going to do on every game save. Connect it back up. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I mean, there's other buildable BGAs, modular BGAs out there as well. I think the implementation of pumps and hoses as BGA is a rather interesting concept, where you put down your digester first, or your fermenter first, and then you you build everything off of that, and you can put down basically unlimited fermenters connected to that within a reason of space. And as you keep adding fermenters, you keep adding capacity, the ability to produce more product, more methane, and therefore more energy, more digestate. Night Owl Games was a mod for what? I mean, it's just like every other DLC. It's not for everyone. You know? And that's the benefit of it being a optional purchase. Hello, Scott. Yes, it is. Potatoes. And just think. August, September, October, November, 4.5 months. We're gonna be neck deep in carrots, parsnips, and red beets on Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka. I don't know. However you want to pronounce it. But in the meantime, you could be over on the new map. The new map I just did a video on. It's got all sorts of tree nuts, walnuts, cashews. No, not cashews. It's pig food. We're using these potatoes for Piggly Wigglies. We're going to be buying them here in a little bit. And hopefully we won't have to do potatoes anymore. No, not cocoa nuts. We're not talking about a tropical map. I'd like to see, we talked about Farm Sim, and would you like to see more animals or more features? I was really thinking that they would be venturing into Asian markets, because we had an Asian tractor, a Japanese tractor, and we now have Kubota, another Japanese tractor brand. But we had the, where is it? The Izeki, right? That is a Japanese, look, T Japan 5. So that is a Japanese brand. So we only have one of these in game. And I thought for sure that was kind of an indication that we would maybe see an Asian inspired DLC coming. Instead, we got Platinum, we got Forestry. And then it was like, well, maybe year two. Maybe year two. Nope, we're getting Eastern European. Maybe there's still time. Maybe we'll have an Asian-inspired region in whatever the next farm sim is. And we can have Asian-inspired agriculture. rice, cashews, I don't know, whatever else you might have. Because at this point, it's branching out into other agricultural areas, other agricultural zones. South American, we had the sugarcane map in FS17. Could we have an Australian inspired map? Could we have an African inspired map? Could we have another South American map, maybe with, how about bananas? Right? Could we get coffee as an official crop? We have coffee on certain mod maps now. We do have Jackco as an official brand in game. Jackco makes coffee harvesters amongst other things. We can have Canadian farming. Maybe we could make maple syrup. We could tap trees and make maple syrup. Agriculture is a big industry. It's a very broad industry. Lots of things can fall under that. We have horses were added recently. I've said earlier today, llamas, alpacas would be an interesting because both of those can be used as an alternate form to get wool or a wool equivalent for fabric. So if you want to do clothing and you don't necessarily have to have sheep, you can have alpacas or llamas, goats. What other kind of unique farm animals are out there? Emus? Are those for egg production or something else? Yeah, you'd have turkeys, there would have to be a, yeah. Don't know how well that would go over. So I think we'll go get some pigs when we fill up this second trailer again. I've said before, I'd like to see cats officially added. I'd like to see rodents officially added. And if you don't have the right ratio of cats to grain stored, then you get rodents, and you would have random events where you would lose grain in your stores because of a rodent infestation. And if you have that problem without cats, Then you got to go pick up some farm cats to help out with that infestation. Pesticides, pests, bugs, disease. Genetic J, what is up? What is up? Storm, what are you talking about? I think what's worth the $60? I think it's interesting. We're getting storks in the premium expansion map. The videos we saw so far don't show any blackbirds or crows. They just show storks. No, I don't think the storks are going to deliver babies. Schultz, that's interesting because I've never seen seagulls around here. They must only fly to you. Well, I mean, once you buy it, you won't be taking contracts on it anyway. I think lots of folks have wanted to have random events added to the game. I liked seasons in FS19 where they introduced the concept of failed germination. Right? If conditions weren't exactly right, then you could have some failed germination on parts of your field. You do everything right. You could put the seed in the ground, you could have it fertilized, you can do the groundwork exactly how it needs to be. But you just didn't quite get enough rain in the spring, and as such, the crop's just a little bit too dry. And yeah, you had a little bit of a failed germination. You're going to sell at your own prices? What do you mean? Like, you want to be able to set the sell price and then sell to yourself? Scooter's Workbench, welcome! You came in just in time. We're gonna go haul some Piggly Wigglies. sure it's not peeking through. That one. That one. Let's go get our animal trailer. Oh, I didn't test it either. I didn't test dumping things in your building. Although, quite frankly, I wouldn't see that. I see that as more of a machine shed. I don't see that as a grain storage building. Looks very similar to a shed we had growing up, except we had doors on either side. Oh, Farmer Ben, sorry. Sorry, if you tick the bell, then yeah, YouTube's sometimes slow with those notifications. We are having a fabulous stream so far. Been doing potatoes the slow and hard way. We got pig food fired up. We're going to go buy some pigs. That's honestly been the goal since day one of starting this map, was to do pigs. Lined up. Oh, I want Piggly Wigglies. Do I want Landrace, Bethlehem, Black Pine, or Berkshire? Let's go with Berkshire. Oh, we can put 8 Piggly Wigglies in here once. Well, I'll give you a secret. When I'm driving like this, I'm using a wheel and pedal. Yeah, pretty much if I am going to stream, it's going to be 8 p.m. Eastern is going to be the official start time. We do start a pre-show 10 minutes early at around 7:50-ish. Saturday afternoon, we do an afternoon live stream for members only on ACC currently. So I think we'll do what, 8, 16, 24. I think we'll start with 24 pigs and just let them go hog wild reproducing. I thought about adding the enhanced animal mod, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure because I hear it increases feeding rates, and people are telling me that it's not economical. Right? You can't make money off of them because the cost to feed them is too much. No, I don't have a few metric tons of food yet. Which is why I wasn't... I thought about not adding it. Now, of course, those 8 pigs could reproduce into 80 pigs the first go-round. And those 80 pigs could then reproduce into 800 in the second go-round. But, aside from that, so they will just go with 24 pigs the normal way. And work our way up from there. Because we can make 60,000 liters of pig food a month, assuming we have enough inputs to make the pig food. Oh, maybe we'll just be... Maybe we'll get 8 of each. The map we did a video on today had like 10 of each type of sheep. And I think it had multiple pigs. Honestly, FARMER-KLEIN, for the base game, they're not that bad. If you're just getting into the game, they're definitely worth waiting on until you have kind of mastered your arable farming. I think chickens are the easiest because they only require one grain crop. Sheep are pretty close second to that because they require just grass. Right, you can cut grass, collect grass, and dump it down and be done with it. Cows are probably the most complex. But you can also reap a good reward from them with their milk output. And then pigs require kind of a vast range of foods. But you could buy pig food, pre-mixed pig food. You could dump the individual crops into the trough, or you could get a pig food mixer and then make the pig food depending on what the recipes are. Then you have horses. Horses are an interesting dynamic because they can also provide you some transport, and they require some physical care to have max health. Now we got our last batch of pigs. Horses have become, well, I guess they're more like real life. They're just a money drain. They don't really have any, feel like they have any real revenue potential. They take so long to get to any level of value, and they take forever to reproduce. So if you were going to have horses for reproduction and sell the ponies, then that's going to take forever. It's not like in 19 where if you kept horses for 10 days, right, they earned you $50,000. You could rotate a fleet of horses every 10 days and make 10 times on your money investment if you rode them and cared for them a little bit. Disaster! We have a horrible accident involving 8 bacon makers. News at 11. Once again, it's the traffic not recognizing the right-of-way. Oh, grenade racer! I don't even think about bees. I've got a beehive. I added beehive mod. I really should put them down. I just don't even think about them. Okay, there we go. 24 pigs. Google Pop, what's up? What's up? I wouldn't say Schultz is lazy. Well, I would. But, I mean, would you rather have him editing videos or editing some future mod that he wants to put out? Right? I think lots of players would prefer he work on something other than editing a video. All right, back to our tater party. Not a whole lot left. We got just part of this smaller, lower section. What? We got a whopping 1,200, 1,100 liters of potato food so far. Not potato, pig food. Yeah, the upload is painful, right? How long's the race? Or how long is the video? If it's 2.5 hours to render. I don't think you want to know how long it takes for me to render a 4K video. We try to be chill because this is how we chill. So an hour race, now 2.5 hours to render, or 2.5 hours to edit and render. Is that on your new card? We need to have a chat. Because I render out 4K video about 4x. So the hour video that I just put out earlier today, maybe took 20-25 minutes to encode. Now, of course, to upload, that's no competition. So we need to chat about what your encoding bit rate is. You might be able to back that down a little bit. Gain some time on the saving it out. I'll see if I can export my my 4K my 4K template settings. That's right, Grenade Racer. I am on a 3080, and yeah, pumps out 4K pretty dang good. I use Premiere. I mean, I would think my experience using my all AMD laptop for some video renderings was your CPU should be like egged at 100%. I've yet to get Premiere to use the AMD GPU with any real effectiveness. For actual rendering the video, it seems to use the AMD GPU with OpenGL, I think, for real-time encoding during editing. But when it comes to saving it out, it's full-on CPU. Now, if you've got the NVIDIA GPU, right, then you get the wonderful advantage of the CUDA integration and CUDA acceleration. If you're on an Intel CPU, then you get the great advantage of Quick Sync. That's hardware built into the Intel CPU. But when I'm saving out a video, it's like 100% GPU and like 70%, 60 to 70% CPU. Yeah, get Premiere like some serious memory. Scratch disc is handy when it comes to muxing the final video. But I think there's some performance gains to be found there. I think we've got 30, this is 30, 60, 90. Should have over 100,000 liters of potatoes piled in here. I think this is the third trip with dual trailers, at least. $30,000 liters a trip. Off we go. Oh yeah, might be my fourth. I haven't really kept track. I think we got probably another 30, 60, 45,000 out there. Kuro, right now we're running 2 days. Mostly the second day is a safety measure. We'll see. I know with DaVinci Resolve does do some AMD acceleration, from what I understand, but right now I don't think Adobe Premiere is doing any of that with the AMD side of cards. I am surprised your CPU's not maxed out. It's almost like it's starved for something else. I use guided steering. Yes. Horseplay, no. I would say horseplay is a different. If all you're worried about is keeping straight lines, horseplay would be a different beast entirely. Horseplay is like an advanced AI helper. It takes the standard AI helper logic and builds upon it, allowing you to do a lot more complex things with hired help. But we do have guided steering right here. That is enabled. In fact, I used it when I was making these rows. Hellhawk, are you talking about GTX? I think GTX is doing well. He's got things going on. So I used to use Courseplay a lot back in 17. I used it a decent amount early on in 19, after it released in 19, under kind of under beta release. But there for a while it wasn't the greatest, and I really got tired of having to babysit the helpers with Courseplay. So I just kind of gave up on it. And my mental process usually is, when I'm done with something, I'm done with it. And I was done with Courseplay. The level of frustration that I had. Yeah, but back when I gave it up, I was using it to try to do a silage harvest on Emerald Coast in 19, and every pass, at the end of every single pass, the harvester and the tractor running the trailer would turn into each other. Every single pass, they would turn into each other on either side of the field. Had the same thing happen with a grain harvester and a trailer running. And mind you, this was, I wasn't new to courseplay at the time, right? I knew how it worked. It just wasn't working correctly. And that's where I gave it up. I said, nope, done. So we've got these 2 long rows and a couple of these short ones. We'll finish up this harvest tonight. I mean, it's 17. 17, it worked great. So in 17, you could 100% totally automate every step of the process with a silage harvest. So you can have Courseplay running the silage harvester. You can have Courseplay running multiple carts. You can have Courseplay running a compacting leveler down at the bunker. And they would all just do their thing. Then you could tell Courseplay to unload the bunker into the BGA with a wheel loader, or anything else with a bucket. Just completely, totally automate it all. Maybe it has that functionality back. When it first came out in 19, it did not have near as much functionality as it had in 17. It was like they totally rewrote the entire thing. And I also never messed with auto drive because I saw auto drive as a way of basically automating the driving from point A to point B. Auto drive also allows you, from my understanding, to sell at sell points. See, back in 17, you could set Courseplay up with a selling course, an unload course, and you can basically loop it from your silo to a sell point and tell it to either sell until empty, and it would fill up, take the sell point, dump it, come back to the farm, fill up, and just keep repeating that process. I think AutoDrive has that functionality now. and maybe they're better together. For me, I enjoy the driving aspect. I enjoy driving from one place to the other. The field work can be the more monotonous aspect. So when I saw auto drive come out in 19, I was like, why would I not want to drive somewhere? Right, but we all know other people, right? Other people have other interests. Alright, I don't look like we can go any higher than where we are. So we'll have to come further into the building. But I also don't actively play on 4X maps. I will not be using the seed potato farm pack, not for this. Potatoes are going to be for pig food. It's not just for planting. It's you know, you can, the seed potato pack also incorporates the concept of, I think, premium potatoes and regular potatoes and bagging of potatoes, so you can get more money for, you know, the higher quality potatoes. Baskin of potatoes, that's right. Yeah, I mean, overall, right, I mean, there are some things that the standard hired help cannot do, right? Standard hired help cannot bale a windrow. Back in the day, it wasn't able to mow grass. Now it can do that on a predefined field. Yeah, something like Follow Me is nice. It's a nice little add-on. But there is something to be said to have Courseplay set up to do mowing, and then use the same to do the windrowing and or tedding, windrowing, then baling. And if you're lucky, well, wait, I understand Courseplay has some sort of like load bale feature now. I can go around and pick up bales. So like does it go and detect where the bales are? Like you just have a field full of random bales and it just go pick them all up? Or does it assume the bales follow a course? There we go. Oh, a finder. That's handy because, you know, round bales tend to roll, and square bales from time to time come out and they shoot off in a direction. I would say it's more efficient than picking them up manually. I mean, if you're going to be using Courseplay, then you're likely not that interested in doing the job manually anyway. So either you're out doing some other job manually, or your interest in the game is more of a management function, and you want to manage your crew of workers. Well, Richard, that's why then we have the 4-row carrot harvester. I mean, I don't do root crops a lot. Mostly for the reasons that, one, a lot of the root crop equipment is very expensive. So it makes doing root crops a rather significant investment. Two, They are a big time sink because of the yield, right? I mean, a potato is much, much larger than a grain of wheat. And when you're measuring things in liters, then a potato is going to take many more liters of space than a single grain of wheat or a single grain of corn or any other grain for that matter. So, as such, right? You have a lot of unloading, you have a lot of dumping, a lot of transport. So add that to the expense of the equipment. And then you get things like this Grimmy Pack that makes potato planting and harvesting equipment a bit more economical, a bit more affordable for the smaller scale. It's still a time sink because of the high yield, because potatoes are measured in liters, and well, how many potatoes can you fit in a liter? A lot less potatoes than grains of soybeans or individual seeds of soybeans. But root crop harvesting in general is much slower than other forms of harvesting. Your crop is physically much larger. It's going to be heavier. You got to physically dig it out of the ground. I would say root crops have a bit of a maybe a bit of a cult following, right? If you're into root crops, you are in, right? If you're not into root crops, then you have zero interest. And that will likely continue with the premium edition. And that concludes our potato harvest for this year and likely next year. And probably never have to potato harvest ever again on Carpathian countryside. I think we have at least 120 to 140,000 liters of potatoes in the building. And, well, pig food's going to go through 6,000 potatoes a month. 6,000 potatoes a month. At least I think that's how that math is going to work out. So that's many, many, many months of pig food production right there. Well, thank you all for coming out and watching. Tomorrow, we're going to be doing our afternoon live stream. Members only for ACC. We're on Monzo this week. And then tomorrow night, we'll be back in American Truck Simulator doing our Sunday night convoy night. hitting the road, waiting for Oklahoma to drop. I think it's going to drop any week now. As soon as we go 148 full release, I think we're going to have Oklahoma release as well. And then if all goes well, Monday, we'll be back here on Carpathian Countryside. Probably working with some more harvest now that we are into the fall season. Go check out the map video I just dropped about, an hour and a half before this live stream. It is an absolutely amazing French map. I would say visually it rivals the Italia map from a visual standpoint. Has totally unique buildings, really, really interesting landscaping, road network, extremely tight roads, and well, you could rent a barge. We also have nuts. Lots of nuts over there. Till next time, happy farming.